Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. It's very, very hot. I am so hot, and I'm like, I was trying to make a casserole and it was too much like butter or like oil, so it like spilled into the oven, and I've had to like stop it multiple times to try to clean the oven out so like all of the smoke doesn't burn my house down. So it's been such a process. I am back home. I feel like I've been all around the world, and I was gonna try to do a reading or two, channel some messages when I was out of town, but it was a lot. It was a lot of travel mishaps, which is so crazy because the trip really gave like Mercury retrograde, even though it's not. It kind of gave Venus retrograde too. That's soon, but yeah, it was just a lot. It was a lot of delays, a lot of cancellations, a lot of unexpected changes, and I feel like the universe was very much so trying to teach me, trying to give me the opportunities to go with the flow, even though it's like, universe, what else was I gonna do? Even though I didn't want to just go home and say fuck the rest of the trips and stops often, but yeah, so I guess I had the opportunity, to just go with the flow, and, maybe you guys can resonate with that if a lot of that has been happening. Plans have been changing, people have been shifting, things haven't been going as expected. I'm expecting it to be a lot of that this summer, so remembering that that's just an opportunity to go with the fucking flow, because there's really no other way of doing it. So yeah, here I am now that I'm back home and in my space, and waiting for my oven to cool down so I can try to clean it again, so I can try to cook again. And yeah, I guess it's teaching me persistence, so maybe that's another message for tonight: being persistent in the things that we want, and persistent in our efforts to get there while taking stops. I was talking to my coworker earlier about just like success, and how oftentimes we think like success and successful people equate with them being like happy or being sane or like good people. If like guys or women or whoever is successful, then that means, if they're successful in career, then that means that they'll be successful in relationships, and like they know how to, work with people. And a lot of that is bullshit, because you could be super successful in your career and super unhappy. You could be super successful in your romantic life and trash in your career. It's a lot of possibilities. So not even putting the expectation on that, and also just taking time to get to our finishing goals, taking breaks when we need to, so we don't burn ourselves out before we get to the finish line. Just being gentle with yourself, being gentle with your journey, enjoying it as it goes. And yeah, being okay with changes, being okay with changing your mind, being okay with things not going the way that you expected them to go whatsoever. Relationships not going the way that you expect them to go. People not behaving the way that you want them to behave, or responding the way you want them to respond. Situations not panning out as you will hope that they would, because oftentimes, as tricky, and I think deceiving it might seem like the universe is sometimes, I think the universe does always have our best interests at heart, man. Because when I tell you, by the time I got to New Orleans, I was ready to fight everybody. I was literally ready to fight everybody, even the universe, because I'm like, universe, why the fuck are you playing with me like this right now? I will literally go to jail. And then, are you gonna take me out of jail? You got all these people fucking with me. Somebody is waiting to get these fucking hands. But yeah. I need to not get banned from YouTube. Like, I feel like I've been banned from everything. Like, I was about to be banned from New Orleans. But yeah. I have such a potty mouth. Even around my mom, I'm such a potty mouth. My mom has a potty mouth, so. Anyways, we're gonna pull a few cards today, get some messages for Cancer season. Welcoming Cancer season. You know, a great time to get in connection with our feelings, our emotions, even if we don't want to. I ended up like being stuck in Denver for a night and having to book a room, and it was like such a process, and I kept going to hotels and they were all booked, and like once I got to the third hotel and they told me they were booked for the night, I just literally sat in the lobby and cried, like put my shades on and started crying because I was like, universe, why are you doing this to me? I was just so exhausted. But I think crying is such a good release, so hopefully this Cancer season you guys get some tears out, or you know, release in some ways, whatever that is, screaming, yelling, whatever, fucking, I don't know, masturbating, or having sex like normal people do probably. But yeah, tears and orgasms. I saw some meme that said that and I was like, yeah. That's a vibe. But yeah, hopefully it gives us a chance to connect with ourselves a little bit deeper, to release some shit, to get a better understanding of where we are and what we desire and what we need, and to help us connect our intuition, which helps to know when it's time to take breaks, when it's time to pick up the pace, when it's time to switch focus, when it's time to leave things in the past. And yeah, learning how to re-examine every step along the way to get to where we need to be to. So universe, ancestors, spirit guides, help me to communicate proper messages with the collective for this Cancer season, this beginning to summer. Ace of Pentacles, I love that. Getting what the fuck we deserve, what we desire, like, so good. That's a good start. Thank you, universe. Thank you, universe. Do I want the Empress? I don't know. Let's take it. Thank you in advance for all that you provide to myself and the collective. Pray that the right people hear these messages and connect with whatever it is that they need to connect with. Whatever you resonate with, take it. Whatever you don't resonate with, leave it. And yeah. And also for any like new people or people who are new to my channel, a lot of my videos do have kind of dates and they're around certain times in life, but if you feel called to go through the archive and look at anything that is like calling out to you, I strongly advise you to do so. And you know, go to whatever video that you feel like resonates for you, because a lot of readings are timeless and time really doesn't exist. So wow, we had some good stuff. Ace of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups. I love that for us. I love that for us. We got some Empress energy, some Queen of Wands, and some King of Pentacles. Like, that's delicious. And I feel like oftentimes the closer we get to our dreams manifesting and more things coming into fruition and into reality, the tougher shit gets. Because, oh, I love that. For me personally, especially like being when I was at Essence Festival, it's just the treatment that I was getting. I was like, I feel like I know that I am so much not better than this, but I am better than this, and I deserve to be treated better than this. And I know that it was like the universe kind of pushing me to get to the point of like, what is it that you want, CJ? What do you deserve, and what are you gonna do to get there? Because this isn't what you want, right? You're mad right now, you're pissed off because this is how you're being treated. So like, don't stop till you get to wherever it is that you actually want to be. Yeah, even in relationships. Fuck, I got 2 new mosquito bites. I'm always getting fucked up, bro. Some lady at the airport was like, yeah, I can tell you're not really a nature girl. And I am a hippie, but like, I've never been like camped in and shit like that. And I'm like all about nature and being in those environments, but I'm also very like particular. Like, I don't like sharing beds or hotel rooms. I don't like not having access to proper bathrooms. Like, I don't know. I can be an adventure girly sometimes, but I am like a princess on the inside. And like, I literally went to the river yesterday with my friend, and my whole foot is like fucked up. Like, I've been limping the past day now because I got a cut on the top of my foot and on the bottom of my foot. And all I could think about in my head was, you know what, that maybe that lady was right. Maybe I'm not an adventure girly because I want to be inside for a while. I want to be in fucking inside. I'm so tired. But yeah, I feel like it's giving me motivation to like refill my own cup. And Cancer season is definitely brings that to my attention. That's what needs to happen. So okay, pull like one more card and then get into somebody's messaging. Hope you guys can hear me. I have my fan on because I don't even have an AC in this fucking house, so I just keep a fan on me at all times. Unless I just do those three together. It's kind of giving that like... I love that. Emperor, I don't get that card very often. 3-3. Jesus. I feel like this deck is really speaking of obtaining the things that we want. A lot of these cards are like the Emperor, like the Queen of Wands, like the King of Pentacles, the Nine of Pentacles, and it's this energy of staying in the energy of like who you are, no matter what life throws at you. I feel like knowing what it is that you're capable of, what you're here to do, no matter what the journey looks like right now, where you are right now compared to like where it is that you want to be. A lot of water, which I mean obviously we're in Cancer season, so that makes sense. Anything else? Okay, let's take it. Yeah, so first we got the Ace of Pentacles. The Seed in the Garden. With the Queen of Wands. The Flowing Beauty of Fire. And then Justice, which is a major arcana. The Scales of Cosmic Balance, balance, adjustment, consequence, and effects, weighing things up. Which I feel like this speaks to the seeds kind of that we planted and putting fire and passion into it and behind it in order to create kind of this own justice for ourselves. And Cancer season and Cancers, although it is like water's a very feminine sign, Cancers are the only water sign that is a cardinal sign, and the cardinal signs are the leaders of the zodiac. So they're very much action oriented, very much driven to make change, to do. So I feel like although it's a feminine sign, it's very much in masculine energy, which I think that this speaks to. It's like putting that passion behind what it is that we've planted. So like that balance of feminine and masculine energy in order to achieve justice, weighing the scales, weighing the balance of our feminine side that nurtures our garden, that plants the seeds, and marrying it really with our, did I say feminine energy? And marrying it with our masculine energy, which is what goes out and gets things done, to bring in that justice and what it is that we want. And then next we see the Empress. I feel like that's like Venus, which is interesting because Venus is about to go retrograde. Where are you? Is I feel like Empress is in Major Arcana. Is she? Oh, she is. Oh wow, yeah. Venus incarnate in sensual earth, creativity, actively creating something, working to bring something to fruition. Which again speaks to that whole utilizing both sides, our masculine and our feminine, to get shit done. With the Ace of Cups, the soul receiving love. Wow. And the Five of Cups, the River of Tears, which I think tears kind of speaks to Cancer season, water. And I feel like sometimes when people think of tears, they think of like sad emotions and like, you know, things that are like sad. But I feel like tears for me, because I'm a Cancer rising, so for me personally, I love to cry. Like if I don't cry often enough, then I feel very like out of tune with myself. I feel very like pent up. I feel very much like emotionally stuffed. Like I have to release, I have to cry. And sometimes when I cry, it's not even like sad cry. Sometimes it's out of frustration, sometimes it's out of joy, sometimes it's like out of happiness, you know. So I feel like the River of Tears, it can be a combination of all of our emotions and letting them flow and letting them be what they are. Yeah. So yeah, maybe that speaks to Cancer season and being in this energy of creating things from our passion, from love, from these emotions, letting our emotions fuel what it is that we're doing and getting done and how we move through life this season. Yeah. Okay, so the King of Pentacles is next. The Master of the World, love that, followed by the Strength card, which is a Major Arcana. The Maiden and the Beast, the animal self, acknowledging and welcoming the libido and passions. Ooh, snaps, that's good. And then the Five of Swords. I don't know if I'm gonna read it upside down or not. It kind of came out, but sometimes I read stuff in the reverse, sometimes I don't. At any cost. And I feel like this kind of speaks to the fact that, you know, we are, as we are in this world, we are these humans. So the master of this world is, you know, knowing that we are like greater than this body and this life and what we are here, but right now we are like these physical manifestations in these bodies. So like we have to be in this world, you know. And not necessarily do we have to be of this world, but a part of being in this world is, you know, falling to your passions, falling to the things that you want, falling to the things that you want to obtain, whether that's love, whether that's money, whether that's success, whether that's the things that feel good to our body, to the flesh, that feed the flesh, that feed our earthly selves. I think that's an imperative thing to do that at any cost while we're here. So acknowledging that, because a lot of times I feel like it's looked at as bad if we embrace that, the human side of us and the things that we want, and we're out for money or fame or this or that. But you know, as a human, I feel like there's just certain things that we want in this life and in these bodies that we have to be okay with allowing ourselves to have. Like believing that we deserve what we desire and allowing ourselves to desire that is the first step. So yeah. And then the final little deck or little cards or whatever, Nine of Pentacles. The fullness of independence and gain. The fullness of independence and gain. The Prince of Cups. The Savior and Grail Seeker. And then the World, which I think speaks to ending cycles, but that's a major arcana. So there's a lot of major arcana. It was one in like each of these little decks, which is very interesting to me, because I do feel like this summer is going to be very pivotal to for a lot of the collective. I do feel like it's going to be a lot of major changes, a lot of major shifts and transformations, a lot of eye-opening events, a lot of just change and powerful things happening around us, I think. Beginning with Cancer season. The World card, cycles of completion and beginning, completion, endings giving way to new beginning cycles. The journey is never over, synthesis, which I think kind of speaks to the fact that it's always going to be something else that we want, something more that we want, something more that we're after, something more that we are seeking. I feel like the Holy Grail is always changing, is forever changing things that we want. And we have to be able to move like water, to change, and to allow ourselves to think of those new things, to want those new things, and to feel this independence when it comes to gaining them. The fullness of independence and gain. So allowing ourselves more freedom, more independence as we obtain more of these things that we as humans want for our lives here on Earth. Which I think is beautiful. Like, we cannot disassociate with the human sides of us, as dirty as it can feel sometimes. Yeah. But then finally we have the Emperor for the final cards. The Emperor and the Six of Wands, which again is another major arcana. The Emperor. Aries, seated in his power and how you use it, responsibility, being in a position of power and leadership, authority. Aries is also the first cardinal sign of the zodiac, so just like Cancer, Aries is a cardinal sign, very much that leader energy, that independence energy, that fiery passion, going for the things that you want. And this card, the Emperor, speaks of being able to hold your power responsibly, to understand your power, to understand what you bring to the collective, to understand how much you impact other people and yourself, how much power you have in your own life. And like Spider-Man's granddad said, with great power comes great responsibility. So the more things that you gain, the more attention that you obtain, the more power, the more money, the more success, the more whatever it is, the more lovers, whatever it is that you're gaining, you also have that much more responsibility to uphold in your position, in your new positions of power and gain that you have. With the Six of Wands, the heroic return of the Sun King. Yeah, I don't really know, but Sun King makes me think about Leo season. So maybe that's just a precursor of what it is. But yeah, I guess this heroic turn, could be returning back to ourselves. I feel like Cancer season is, it kind of reminds me of, not really reminds me of winter season, or like Virgo, but it kind of has the feeling of hermit mode, because I feel like during Cancer season you have to know how to like flip in and out of hermit mode, because in the midst of summer, a lot of events, a lot of things going on, a lot of people to connect with, and it's hot as fuck inside. So you know you want to be outside, or sometimes it's hot outside, so you want to be inside. But I feel like Cancer season is really about balancing that hermit mode with being out and about, and you know, getting to a point where when Leo season comes, then it's time to shine, that it's time to step into your power. Not that you shouldn't be in your power at all the times, but maybe more so like into the spotlight. So maybe that's what the heroic return is. Because sometimes I feel like Cancer season is like the breather to like go sit in the bathtub for a month and then come back to the rest of the world and give them what they need. But it's like a reminder to fill your own cup. But Cancer is also like the mother sign, so it's also about nurturing your community and the people that you love and your family, and showing up for them still. So yeah, okay, we're gonna wrap. I'm gonna do pick a card from Work Your Light oracle cards, and just get an oracle card for Cancer season. Sometimes I feel like so disconnected from this YouTube channel as opposed to when I first started, because I just feel like the community around me and myself, we've all been growing so like rapidly and like beautifully that like oftentimes we don't really need anything, but I guess the more that I feel like we evolve, the less I feel like these readings are necessary. But I don't know. I do still love just having this community to talk to and to make sense of. I love that. Trust your path. If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? Trust your path. If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? The gag is you will be, so just do it regardless. Trust your path. I love that. Trust your path. That's so good. Let me just read these other two that are here too. Council of Light, divine orchestration, helpers in the subtle realms. So I feel like this speaks about our ancestors and universe really looking out for us. No matter how much in certain situations and occurrences it feels like they're against us or things are not going the way that we think that they should, oftentimes it's a better way than what we think. So just know you are being protected, you are being divinely guided and helped in realms that you cannot see. And finally, no. Wait, postpone, pause, say no. Which I feel like speaks to hermit mode a little bit. Just know when to rest, know when it's time to refill yourself this Cancer season. Do not allow your cup to be drained. Do not allow people to drain you, situations to drain you. Know when it is time to pause, to say no, to take a break, to take care of yourself. And when it's time to get back out there and be that cardinal, emotional, human-y person that you are. And yeah, that's what I have for you guys. So have a good Cancer season. Try to stay cool out there. And yeah, love ya. Like, share, subscribe.